What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Late Great Game Reviews. I'm your host, Apollo, and this week I'm reviewing Unit 13 for the PS Vita. Unit 13 is a criminally underrated game, for one thing. It came out back in March of 2012, made by the developers Zipper Interactive, which were unfortunately closed and that late at the end of that same month of 2012. They're known for like the SOCOM games and Mag came out in 2010 and several others. Shame that they got closed. Anyway, Unit 13, great game. It's Vita really doesn't have a lot of good shooters. Killzone Mercenary was a solid shooter, but Unit 13 is really cool. It's basically you take control of you can take control of different classes: the Technician, Commando, the Infiltrator, a lot of different classes of soldiers, and you basically there's like 40 missions that you can pick and choose to play through. And you unlock missions as you go along. There's several different kinds of missions. There's direct action missions, which is basically just you have an objective, you go and you kill all the enemies and and achieve your objective. It's a third-person shooter, so it's third-person military shooter. So yeah, there's also covert missions where basically play like Splinter Cell games where you can't trigger any alarms or let any if you're sorry, if you're detected by any enemies, you can't let them trigger any of the alarms. And if you trigger any of them, then it's over. You get one shot, basically. There's also deadline missions where you're on a tight time frame. It's timed, so you have to like basically go through, complete your objective, take out all the enemies as quickly as you can. And then there's also there are also elite missions, which are basically usually you have the regen system where you go behind cover and you regenerate your health. That's how the health system is in the game. But with elite missions, you have a standard health bar, and basically it doesn't recover until you get to a checkpoint. It makes things more difficult. There are also HVT missions, which are high value target missions. They're brutes of missions. They really are. They're tough because there are no checkpoints. They're usually like medium range in terms of how long they are for the missions compared to the other missions of the game. There are no checkpoints. So you literally get one shot. If you die at any point in the mission, even if you're at the very end, you will get started all the way back. It's tough, but you get silver trophy for it. So there you go if you're a trophy hunter like me. There are also cool daily challenges where you can play against the leaderboards of other players, and you get one shot to complete it. You can go like if you die before completing the mission, before completing the daily challenge, then you can. You'll just start back and you have another chance. But if you only get one chance to complete it and have basically try to make the highest score you can by the time you complete it, and you compete against, like I said, the leaderboards, everybody around the world who's played the game. And it's a daily challenge, so you have the 24 hours to complete it, and once you do, that's the only shot you get, and then the next day it resets and you get a new challenge. It's pretty cool. You also have co-op missions. You can co-op any of the 36 missions of 36 main missions of the game, which is really really cool. It's nice to have. It's nice doing co-op for the missions. Someone to have your back, and yeah, it feels really natural with this game. This game is also like I didn't play it on the go. I kind of just played it, like any other game. But it's actually a really good game for if on the go. Like if you're on the train for 10 minutes, you can try you can either go on one of the easy missions and complete it real quick, or you can try one of the harder missions. Try to really, uh, you know, perfect your strategy, your tactics, and and go so that the next time you go through the game, you know exactly where to go. It's basically just perfecting your strategy, and that's really cool. The game is great for either on the go or just, I don't know, stationary, whatever you call uh, not on the go gaming. But yeah, it's really good. The game is, yeah, it's terrific. It's you get uh, let's see, what else is there? Oh yeah, the loadout system. The loadout system is pretty simple. Like it's like infiltrator gets silencer and smoke bombs rather than the command contrast to the commando who gets something like an assault rifle and frag grenades. But and it works great, and that's actually what I would have picked if I was if I could customize the classes more in a more in-depth way. That's what I would choose for each of the classes. So the classes make complete sense. The only thing that some players might have issue with is that there's no choice. Like you can't like tailor your loadout to exactly the way you want. Like the infiltrator has to have smoke grenades. The commando has to have frag grenades. The technician has to have these P4. I think they're called P4 grenades, where you throw them and you can detonate them or you can shoot them. It's basically like C4. But yeah, there's no choice in terms of like how you can customize it exactly. Like the commando can't have smoke grenades, that sort of thing. Commando can't have silenced weapons. So that might irk some players, but it's not too bad. I do appreciate the simple loadout system, and you level up throughout the game with each of the. I think there's like 6 or 7 characters, and you level up with each of them. You unlock like new weapons for them. Not too many. It sticks to the simplicity. But yeah, you unlock a few weapons. You unlock attachments like muzzle brakes and extended mags for your characters. Yeah, so it's simple, but I like it. It's simple, effective, concise, efficient. Let's see. Bear with me. One thing that I wanted to say is that the AI, it's not. I mean, it's actually sometimes they really can corner you and just like completely overwhelm you. But there were a few times where there was like a large group of AI that would come into a section, and particularly I remember this one HVT mission where I went into a building and the AI would like there's a big group of them on the bottom level. I was on the top level, and they would start funneling up the stairs one by one, sometimes two by two, and they would just instead of coming to my position, which they knew because they were alerted by my gunfire, they would just like again and again go to the corner and just face with their weapons primed, weapons armed, and they would just face the corner, and I could just pick them off. I mean, that might appeal to some players because it's really easy, but it was just, I mean, there was no challenge there, and it was a weird glitch with the AI. So the AI, just as a forewarning, will do that sometimes. They'll get stuck in a corner, or they'll just keep following their comrades and just facing corners or stuff like that. I think the last thing I want to say is the cover system for the game is pretty well done. You can stick when you want to, usually unstick when you want to, although there are a few times where if you're coming around a corner, instead of the system, just sticking to the corner, which it usually does, there are a few times when I would come around a corner not just intending to peek around the corner and stay in cover, but it would instead like automatically take me out of cover, and that proved problematic sometimes when I would come across like a few enemies and I would accidentally come out of cover and they wouldn't have my position and it would ruin the stealth. So there are a few instances like that, but for the most part, the cover system's pretty solid. So that's Unit 13 for PS Vita. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It's a solid game. Really, really well done. It's a shame Zipper Interactive was closed down because I'd really love to see another one of these games. It's really, really. I've heard so much about it in the past, and finally got a chance to play it, and I'm so glad I did. Anyone who's a fan of the shooter and a fan of the Vita as well knows that there's very few really good shooters on the Vita, and this is one of them. And then, yeah, right now it's free on PlayStation Plus. That's how I got it. So definitely, if you have PlayStation Plus, if you have a Vita, if you're a fan of shooters, check it out. Yeah, that is Unit 13. I'm Apollo. This has been Late Great Game Reviews. I will see you guys and girls next week.